Hello, my name is Justin Hickman. I'm with Vertispan, and today is Wednesday, July 12th, 2023. We're continuing our current stream series of making a widget. And in the previous stream, we have been able to create not only a hue picker, where we have the ability to drag it through, and it goes through the range of 0 to 360, and we can do vertical and horizontal, as well as an HSV picker to be able to grab a color. And then at the very end of the stream, we were playing around with combining those two child components into a larger parent component, and this is a more working example of what a color picker can look like. So if we change the hue to like a 360 or 0, we can come over here and choose the actual color. Right now it's not actually showing anything. Let's go ahead and remedy that. And yesterday I did work on the color utility to create some helper functions for converting from RGB to HSV and HSV to RGB. Even created some hex stuff. So from an RGB, we have the ability to provide a hex value. Else if color instance of, I should probably look for RGB as well. Otherwise return null. We'll just have to figure that one out. But the color utility does work, and in my demo, I was able to grab the hex string for the color, and that was with the HSV picker, but I also want to do the example, the demo one. So let's go ahead and put some sort of text box at the very top. And there we go. And then under here, we have the ability to append a child view box. And on the HSV picker, not the hue picker, because the HSV will actually have the hue as a component inside of it. So in here, we should be able to add a change handler. And this is going to be the HSV. So then I would be able to do view box, set value, and this will be value to hex string. That way we can actually see the color that we're providing here. All right, so then whenever I select something, we can see the hex color, and we can even double check these. So this one's like a darker fuchsia color. So if we wanted to go into color, just search for it. I think it's smart enough. Yeah, so here we go. So here's the hex color, and that is essentially what we have in this little viewport. If you remember, we actually set the background of this selector to the actual color that we're choosing. And that is pretty spectacular. Let's go ahead and highlight that, copy that over, and paste that. And it should be that green color, and it is. Works out pretty well. All right, so the one thing that I was doing after the previous stream was I was starting to look at some of the other color pickers that are out there, and essentially they all have the same sort of structure, where you have the HSV picker, you have a hue selector. This is a basically the outcome or the result color. And they all have alpha pickers. So I might actually create an alpha picker, and that's what today's stream is going to be. Because of the fact that we already have this here completely working, it might be nice to be able to refactor this. I know that there is the range input and it supports basically this same sort of thing. I think it can be stylized. I'm not entirely sure how cross-compatible it is. I mean, if I have to change this one little component to use a range, I'll do that. But it's been fun just creating our own custom version. So what I want to do is probably create a refactoring of this to create like a super class that's reusable and stylable, and then we can subclass it with the hue picker, and then I can also subclass it with an alpha picker. And an alpha picker is a little bit different because this one, it returns a range of 0 to 360 or 359, but I actually need to check that. It might actually be returning 360, but for the alpha selector, it's only going to be returning between 0 and 1. It's a percentage. So if we look at this, we can see that we have this little alpha slider here, and the background's going to look a little bit different. This one, it does seem to throw in the colors, so that one should be fairly easy to do. Very similar to what we did with the HSV picker by layering different things. So we can set background 1 to be transparent to solid, and the one below it, I guess that wouldn't be transparent then. Yeah, we're gonna have to figure that one out. But this is gonna be a trial and error. Figure out which one we're going to have. It could possibly be setting this maybe an image or something, because we will need to have some sort of image with this checkbox pattern. It looks like we might have to put it as a general background on some of these, so it's going to be reusable at least. So let's go ahead and get into the refactoring for that. So first thing, I am going to commit these changes. Added implementations for color conversions. RGB to HSV, HSV to RGB, and hex conversions. That's basically all I did in that bit of code. So let's go ahead and refactor this. So over here, let's close out some of the things that we're probably not going to need. Probably not going to need that or that. And I did create a test in here because I was wanting to make sure that I was doing all of these color conversions appropriately. And I actually did take a look at HSV to RGB function or formula. Let's see, I think it may have been this website. Yeah, I was using this website because it has all of the different conversion formulas, and you can see that we have C equals value times saturation. We have X equals the C times all of this, which is 1 minus the absolute value of H divided by 60, and H is assuming to be 0 to 360. So we already have that. Mod 2 minus 1. So if we were to take a look at the color util, and I was looking at HSV or to RGB right here. So yeah, I actually put the comment in here just so that I could remember how this was, because the looking at it in Java is a little bit more complicated, and I had the parentheses in the wrong places because we have to make sure that we have order of operations in the appropriate way. But that does work, and And the way to do this stuff is basically to grab the modulus of the value, or just divide by 60. And we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 because we have those 6 groups. And then for each one of those, I plugged in RGB to CX0 for the first one. We have CX0, then we have XC0, and so on. But then at the very end, we have to convert R prime to R by adding M, which is value minus the C up there, which is the chroma value, I guess. And then multiply that by 255. We can round it, and that's how we get our RGB. So cool, that does work. We'll have to add some extra stuff in there once we support an alpha channel, but I think it's gonna be good for now. So I'm going to bring over the hue picker again, because this is the one that we are going to abstract out and create an alpha picker as well. And that's basically going to be the same scenario. We're going to be allowing it to be horizontal and vertical orientation. So I am going to change my color picker demo. I'm going to put the hue picker first. That way I don't have to scroll every time I refresh. There we go. And I am probably going to do it on the horizontal for now. Let's take a look at this. Hello, let's go into that method. So I'll probably add it right under this. Let me append child HR. Let's just throw a horizontal rule in there to separate these. I think I have a border. Yeah, I got a border around that flex box, but it still kind of blurs together. I don't even see the horizontal rule, do I? Yeah, doesn't look like it's even there, but it's there. Might be a domino style. All right, so let's go ahead and refactor. Let's figure out how this is going to be. This is going to be like a color slider, maybe. So let's go ahead and create a class color slider. Let's throw the hue picker on this side so we can get a better look at it. And for the most part, it's going to be this. And I think it's safe to say that we'll probably need to make this one generic, so we can do like abstract color slider, and we can do type, whatever this type is going to be, because here it's going to be an integer, but for the alpha it's going to be a double. Why isn't that? Oh, it's because I didn't do extends. It's like, why isn't that importing? All right, so we have that, which is fine. Let's import the rest of these. And of course, this isn't going to be hue picker. This is going to be the subclass, whatever it's going to be. And I think we need a constructor, or what is it needing? That's weird, because this is an abstract class. Oh, that needs to be changed. This needs to be S. And that needs to be T. Okay. You know, I guess I can't do an S there, and I can't do a T there, probably because I'm defining it there. So I probably need to do the T first. I can never remember how the generics work for this. Can I just do that? No. Oh wait, it needed two. T and S. I guess I can swap those back. No, it's probably fine where it is. All right, so this, let's just see how much this breaks by changing this extension to color slider, and the other type is integer, and hue picker is going to be there. So far so good. Let's refresh, see if anything's broken. Hope not, but it doesn't look like it is. It still functions. All right, cool. All right, so color slider. And of course, we're going to have to do a few things that are going to be a little different. I'm kind of wondering, should I be doing a has-a or an is-a relationship here? Because my color slider is going to have things like set min value, set max value, very similar to the other slider itself. So if we take a look at the other slider, we have set max value and set min value. And that's basically because it's a range, and we're going to have to do the same thing for the other color slider. We have to have a range from 0 to 259 or 360, whatever we want on that, and 0 to 1 as a double. So while I'm doing this, I might as well create our alpha picker. And this is going to be a double. Alpha picker is going to be that. And of course, it's wanting me to implement all of the other methods. And we will get to that. First thing that I want to do is probably create the public static alpha picker. Let's just figure out how much actually needs to go in the super class. Probably most of this. And we will have to refactor the CSS because all of those are referencing the hue picker. All right. Wonder if I should just throw it all into the super class. Probably not. That seems kind of ridiculous, right? Oh, it probably will eventually. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Let's just throw everything into the super class and refactor it from there. I know it's going to have a lot of errors in here because it's referencing hue picker everywhere. Let's just look for hue. That's fine for now. Oops, not create a class, but I want to import a class. Yeah, I don't know why that's having an issue. I just import all of these. It's essentially the same code here. Might not have been initialized. That's fine because it's color slider. Knit this. Knit. Oh yeah, shouldn't that work? I probably have to go through and see what that's returning. Should probably do that. So private that return this, and then we can suppress warnings unchecked. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. Let's move this over for now. Again, we're going to change this to use the generic stuff, but this is going to be is that what we had? Change handlers is going to be change handler of !_ super T. And get value is going to return T. And that one we're going to have to figure out. Because obviously the slider here is not going to have an int value. That might be a little bit more on the other complicated side. Element value as number. That's returning a D. I guess the slider would have to be some sort of number. So extends number. Wonder if that's going to cause any issues just by casting it. Does that work? Let's comment that out just for the time being. All right, so then we have the set value, which is going to be T and has change handler. This is super T. Oops, needed S there. Let's return that. No, this is T. Yeah, we're gonna have to figure that out. All right, hue. Let's keep looking for hue. Yep, that's gonna be a lot of changes in here. What about integer? Okay. So what are the errors here? Now it's because that is returning an int, which technically just needs to return a t. We're gonna have to convert that later. Let's go ahead and do that. So we need a min and max value. Is a extension of number. Shouldn't like integer work? Guess I would have to be of type T, right? Ugh. I don't know if this is the right direction or not. Still don't know why this is not working. Required type S. Oh, I need to return init that, right? Where's that init at? It just needs to be cast to the S. Casting it to its subtype, essentially. See, I think that one does have to be a double regardless. And get double. And this is because it's a number instead of an integer or a double. I wonder if I should just make the superclass deal with double. And then I just do the other rounding in the subclass. Max value. And these should probably be, I don't know if they need to be public or not. Probably just protected. Then we can avoid anything changing it outside of this class. Yeah, still need to figure out how to convert that. Calculate range offset. What is that used in? Okay. We'll have to figure that one out. Max value times scale. So the max value in this case is a t. Wonder if I should create a some sort of, how do I do that? Max value. I guess I can do I mean, the scale is a double, so what if I were to do double value? But then how do I get that back into a the correct T type? Should just cast. I mean, I'm just off shifting the problem. And I don't typically use number, so let me just take a look at it real quick. How do I create a number? This is like Java 101 here, right? So you have your long, your double, your integer, and all of that stuff. Yeah, but what if I don't know? I mean, that's castable, right? Because it is a T. I don't know. Let's suppress those warnings. Unchecked. Because regardless, this scale will be a double. Even if the color slider itself is intended to be an integer. It'll just need to do the casting appropriately. So on this one, I can just do a cast like that, right? Oh. It's because I need the double value. Just to be a compatible number. All right, what's left? It's right here. Get value times track size. Can this ever be null? We're gonna find out. Let's see, how broken are we? Oh, we are broken. That is for sure. Class cast exception. Of course I got a class cast exception. Yeah, this is a little bit more complicated than I was expecting. All right, so where's that happening? On value changed. Just to be certain, let's go ahead and clean the cache and then recompile, just to be certain. That way, if I don't have to make any changes, that would be better. I might end up having to change all of this back to being a finite value. Like always, the color slider is going to be of type double, just so that we can have a double min to max. But then subclasses can convert that to integer. I don't know. Let's just see what Java Lang integer has to say about converting to the different numbers. I know that it has all of the methods for like double value and stuff like that. All of these are extending number. Might seem silly. Am I using min value for anything? I am not. We're gonna have to figure that one out. I guess it doesn't really matter for our current uses. I can make this one package private so that we're not using this outside. It seems to have compiled just fine. But let me just refresh it again, and broken. Yeah, it's still broken. Class cast exception. Of course it is. And it's with those. What is the value? So type T. Yeah, that's correct. Wonder why we're getting a class cast exception here. I don't know. Let's see if anything works. Okay, it does work. It is changing. So it's just whenever it's calling the value change handlers. Why? Wonder if it is null. Let's refresh. I'm gonna put a breakpoint in here. I'm just curious what the other value is that's getting the class cast exception. It's not giving me the value. I was hoping that it would show in the other call stack. Oh, here we go. So we do have a value here of 208.33. Which technically is a double. And the hue picker is expecting an integer. Is that what the other problem is? So if I look at the hue picker here, let's go down through the original code. Yeah, it's an integer. So yeah, that's expecting it to be an integer. Should I just cast it? And that's a double though. That's stupid. Yeah, that's coming in. So why is it coming in as a double? Where is that coming from? Because it's get value from thumb, and the get value from thumb before was returning an integer, but now it's returning type T, which it's supposed to be. Yeah, that's a conundrum. How do we do that? Shouldn't we get the no, we wouldn't get a class cast exception here because we're explicitly passing a double and we're just trying to cast that to whatever T is, but without knowing what T is, because there's nothing to do like if foo instance of double, then do whatever. Can't do that. What options do we have? Sometimes I hate dealing with type conversions between the different numbers in Java. Do we have anything in terms of JavaScript? Because I mean JavaScript with duck typing. I mean, we can coerce something to an int, but we have to know that we're as an int. I mean, alternatively, we could create that as an abstract method. So if we were to do that here, double value of val int value, it's pretty simple to do. But that's not our problem, because we are grabbing the value for the thumb. And we're calling cast there, so that should actually convert it. Yeah, there we go. That fixed it. Only because we subclassed the cast to make sure that we're returning an integer instead of a double, to be later trying to cast into an integer. So that does work. Okay. Of course, we don't have the min value. But as I said, we probably don't need to worry about the min value right now, because our min will be a 0 on both of them. If we were to expand this to go further than the color picker, I could probably do something about the min value. But for now, min value, let me just remove the min value, so it's not confusing why it's even there. Because we're just going to have to change the math, because right now we're going from 0 to whatever, and it's easy to figure out the percentage of a value in between. But whenever you put a min value in there, then we're going to have to check between certain range, and the percentage is going to be off by that difference. So then we would have to calculate the difference between the min and the max, just to see how many total values there are to figure out what the percentage will be. So there we go. We have the hue picker there. We got the color slider here. Inside of the alpha picker, now we can do alpha picker, set max value 1. And I don't think we need to do anything with the cast since it's already coming in as a double. So over here, let's go ahead and append child alpha picker, create value 0.5. And that's probably it. Will that work? Let's see if that will work. That did not work. I'm curious what the values are going to be coming out as. Do we still have that constant in here? We do. Are we using it? And we do. We are. We can't do that until we actually have a max value. Well, for now, we probably need to do that. Max value. We will probably need to this dot range. What did we call that? Slider. Oh. We're going to have to convert that back into an input element. Do I need to? I think it was just for... I don't know. Can I just call element max value? Is it just max? What is max? Might be max. I don't know if that's going to work or not. It seems to have worked on this one. If we were to locate this input, we have max right there. And that was 1. Can a range support doubles? May have been stupid for using a range on this one. Yeah, we may not be able to support double. All right, so what that means for the other value, instead of using that range input, we're going to have to do private value. Let's go ahead and comment that out and see what's broken. So that means also that we can't just set the other value from the HTML directly, which is okay, I guess. Guess I don't need to do that anymore. Okay. And set value. Guess we don't need to do that anymore either. Right? Let's see if that still works. Of course, I'm not doing any kind of corrections in case there's values outside of that range. We'll need to do that at some point for validation. That seems to work. We are getting the other value back, and that all of that without the input element. This one still doesn't really work. And I'm not entirely sure why. I mean, one thing that we could do, we can set the other value as an attribute. So we don't need that anymore. Might not need this anymore, but we'll see. Maybe this will be the authoritative source. But anytime that we're mutating value, we can probably change the element. So root dot attribute data value to value. And I think I need to concatenate with a string, or actually string value of. That way we can actually see it in HTML. I mean, we can even have it where modifying that attribute would be able to reflect things directly. All right, so then we have data value is 58. There we go. That works. You can see that it's getting updated appropriately. And this one, the data value is 0.5. See, and that looks correct, but it's not setting the other position appropriately. Whoa, what? How did it get the value of 4? I don't know if you saw that, but first, yeah, how's it getting a value greater than 0 or 1? Is that possible over here? Must be some weird calculation issues. I could do a math min math max. Ow. Yeah, because we don't know what this is, and math max doesn't support. Yeah. What if I were to confine the value? Then we have a protected confine. Of course, that means that we're going to have to implement it both places. So confine. And let's make this one protected. Not a big fan of doing it this way, but it works. I mean, both of these are basically doing the same. It's only because of the data type. One place we have double, the other place we have integer, and the superclass is on number, so we can't do math.max on number. I mean, I could probably grab the double value. I mean, that's the wider value between the two. So in the superclass, we could see if that works. It's because that's a T as well. Double value 0 and value double value. And then we're gonna cast. Oh, that's gross. But that should work, right? It's unnecessary widening though, so I'm just gonna leave it as is. I could probably figure out a better way. Oh, hey, I was not paying attention to chat. So you built a simple color picker for the rich text editor. Oh, nice. Yeah, this is going to be somewhat customizable. So I'm going to be probably doing a pull request at some point, or merge request, whatever they're called in GitHub, just to contribute this color picker stuff. Did I remove it completely? I did not mean to do that. There we go. And switch you. Maybe. I have multiple stages that I would like to go through. One would be, let me do a color picker component. Let's see what we got here. I knew that like Vue has a few of them. Yeah, here we go. So some of these are kind of interesting, and these are like extensions to Vue, I guess. So the very first one here, this one's a complete color picker. Looks like it has the HSV. It has the hue selector, alpha selector, and its alpha selector is very general, I think. No, I think it's just based upon where it is. So that's actually correct. And I don't know what these are. I don't know if this is changeable, because right now it's just showing HSL. It would be nice to do something similar to the Chrome one. Let's go back to the body here so I can bring up the Chrome picker. It has this drop down here where we can choose whatever output format. So if we wanted RGB, we can see the RGBA values here, and then it automatically changes. And then whenever we switch it to like HSL, it's the same values, but with HSLA, with the alpha. So I don't think these are, oh, these are modifiable. So that's kind of cool. So if I wanted to do like a saturation of 10%, that possibly changes something. Well, we did see that the alpha did modify that. HWB, we even have the hex here. And that is also with alpha. So I don't know. Oops, let me remove the magnifying glass. I don't know if you can change this one or not. And I don't know what these little chips are down here. Is it like the recently selected ones? Is it just a preset of reasonable defaults? I don't know. The second one here, this one's using a vertical. It has a color picker, but it's based upon what's currently in the web page, which is perfectly fine. I don't know if we need to have that or not. And this looks like it's hard coded. I don't know if you can modify these or not. And again, these might be predefined and the most recent down below, maybe. I don't know. Multi-purpose view 3 color picker component. So this one's a little bit more complicated. Oh, this is just showing a comparison between the different color pickers. So this is the one in Photoshop. This one's in Sketch. Material. That's kind of cool. And I'm not doing a radial one. And this one's probably the closest to what I'm doing right now. I mean, if we take a look at my wireframe, that's essentially what I did. I put the selected color on the left side instead of the right, but overall, that's very, very similar. But from here, I don't know how far I should go with this. I mean, some of these are really cool. I don't know what this is. I'm not entirely sure what this bar is for. It's sort of like the HSV picker, but I'm not entirely sure. Do we create like a, let me create a button. Oops, I can't see what I'm typing. So if we had like a button, and this button may have like a color swatch in it, so it'll show like the current value. So you can have like a color button. So whenever you click on it, it pops up this little selector. You can change it, and as soon as you change a color or hit an OK button, I don't know what the user interaction is going to be, it'll set the value of the button. So then you would be able to call get value, set value on the button directly. It'll change this little chip palette color swatch. That's a good one. So that you can actually see it. And similar to how you have like fonts and stuff like that. So if it doesn't look like this one has anything like that. Let's see, is there like a WYSIWYG? What you see? Nope. Editor. Oh, here's a toolbar. And it doesn't have anything either. I know that like whenever you're choosing like the background color or foreground color, the button itself is going to have a little color swatch in it to signify what the current selection is. And every time that it opens up that menu and displays the color picker, it's going to set the current value as the default. And that's what I'm wanting to go with. So here is what Ahmad just sent me. I'm trying to make sure that the company chat doesn't show anything. But here we can see that, oh, you do have the other drop down. So this is for the rich text editor. And this one is mainly just a selection of predefined color swatches, it looks like. So yeah, the one that I'm working on now is definitely a more full featured. And I know that there was a ticket open. If we get the Domino UI, I know that there was a request for this somewhere. Color. Yeah, feature request, new component color picker. It was opened May 10th. Slider to control. I don't know if I want to do individual sliders for that. I'm not a big fan of those sorts of color pickers. I don't even see those sorts of color pickers anymore where it has 3 sliders, one for red, one for green, one for blue. I usually see more of this type of color picker. I think this is more satisfying for people. I mean, if we want to expand this so that the RGB is sliders to the right, we can, but I think that's a little overkill for that. But before we end off the stream today, I haven't been on that long. Let me just check my uptime. Yeah, just a little bit over an hour. I would like to at least get this alpha thing working. It does look like it's sending the appropriate value. Somewhere. Oh, that's the wrong one. That's why it's not updating. Yeah, so the value seems to be going. I would like to refresh that to make sure that I have the latest code. To one that confines it. That way we can make sure that it doesn't go outside of the other bounds. But having a 0.5, it really should be right here. And I need to figure out why it's not putting the thumb into the appropriate place. Yeah, because the draggable is computing the appropriate value. And no, see right there. How did we get 9.53? It is not getting confined. Shouldn't that be confined? Alpha picker. We are confining it. Min. So it's a minimum of either the value or the max value. And the maximum of 0 or the value. Yeah, that should be correct. I am not sure how we're getting values outside of that. But let's see why we're not getting our left set appropriately. So let's come back over here to color slider. I mean, it still seems to be working just fine for this. So whenever I refresh and it's setting the value for this one, the value is 210. If I switch it up and switch it back, it does look like it's around 210 anyways. So that one seems to be correct. So this would be an update view. Calculate range offset. And it's probably this. Oh, there it is. Hue max. I thought I got rid of that max value. Ugh. Double value. I'm gonna get a null pointer exception. I know I am. Hue max. Okay, so that must have been the last usage of it. So if I refresh this one, it should theoretically be in the middle. Yeah, there we go. Of course, the value is wrong, but no, we're not actually changing any color there. It should be fine. We're gonna have to figure that one out. What is going to be the color of the thumb? Because that's not going to work anymore. Because the value for anything other than the hue is going to be incorrect. So on that one, I could probably just bring that over here to the hue picker. Update view. Yeah, this is not protected. Update view. And then we can set the thumb, which is not visible to us. And we can set the other background color. I could always change that. And for this, I could probably do it a little bit cleaner. Get value and 1 and 1. And for that, I want to get the hex string. I mean, that doing the math is probably unnecessary. Okay, that still works. That one is not doing anything, which is perfectly fine, but we also need to figure out how we're doing the other background. So how are we doing the background? So we have the other slider background, and we could probably do this as a variable. So let's go ahead and add, what is this? Picker? Whoa, what is going on? Would help if I just remembered the name of this class. All right. So here, let's just change these variables. Color slider container. Color slider. Okay, so no more references to hue inside of the color slider, which is perfect. Obviously, the CSS still reflecting that, but I don't want to change that right now. All right. And again, we're probably going to have to do this in multi-part. Because I have to figure out how to do the gradient. Is there any particular way I can do that transparent checkerboard without doing a lot of crazy stuff. It's doing that. I can do some quick research. All right. If we were to change that variable here, I didn't change anything. Didn't I change that? I swear I changed that. Oh. I have it in multiple places. Where's the other place? Oh, that one was for vertical. I didn't change the horizontal one. Okay. Losing my mind. Oh. Yeah, that's gonna be a problem. Because this one is to the right. And the other one is top bottom. Here, we can do that. Container. So to the bottom. Probably want horizontal to be the default. And this one can be obviously for the vertical. And yes, we are still doing this assuming a hue container. So that's going to be the default. That way I don't have to deal with that to the right. Correct? Yes. So that is the default. Let's regenerate that stuff. And let's just make sure that we don't have a gradient anywhere else. That's the default. That's the vertical. Yeah, that should be fine. There might be a way for us to do the checker, so I'm going to take a look at that next. But here we do have the other vertical, and that is working spectacular. So if we set this one to about 50, it's going to be the same color. Yeah. Cool. All right. So then let's try this again. Oh, wait, did I? Did not. I did not flush the CSS. Okay, so that's working. Vertical, that seems to be working. If I were to inspect that again, all right, this time it's using the other variable for the horizontal. So if I were to put slider background black, that will work. All right, so let's see what we can do about getting this checkered. Well, I'm looking at this over here. Somebody asked this question on Stack Overflow, how to make a partially transparent checkerboard. That one's kind of interesting. All right, so let's just throw this in here. Let's throw DUI checkered here. That's gross. It's a little on the large side. Yeah, probably need much smaller values here. Where did that go? There it is. Let's take a look at that. Background size. Okay, here we go. Let's do like 5. 5? Oh, that's way too small. Yeah, we're gonna have to figure out some of the math in this. What was the original? It was 20. So I mean, it's possible, and what I could probably do is use a pseudo element to put this behind the value. So if I were to come back over here to the element, let's change this one to be a linear gradient to right. Transparent to 100%. Is that right? And inside of here, we're gonna need that back. Oh, well, it's because I'm setting 2 different. So what I probably need to do is set this background color. Background red. Nope, that's not gonna work for me. I was hoping to do this in a way that I didn't have to modify. Well, I could say some sort of like a base color. Yeah, so what if I had base color? Well, I'm going to change the name of it, but for the other base color is going to be red. And then I can do from what is 100%? I mean, that's correct there. So like a var base color. So then if I did like blue, it'll have that. So then if I had like a pseudo element, that could probably work. And then I don't even have to change anything. I will need a pseudo element though. How am I going to get that checkerboard otherwise? We might wait. Let's wait on the other checkerboard for now. We could probably do it like this. All right, so if we were to do that, over here on the alpha picker, let's throw our color slider on this side now that it's mostly done, and the stuff that we're working on directly is over here. Update view. Nope. Set value. Value. Okay, so it's this one right here. Yeah, that's not very helpful. How's it doing it over here? Because it has this base color. So maybe if I set a base color. And we returned alpha picker. Return this. So then whenever the value changes, no, has nothing to do with the value. Probably don't even need to worry about this. We need the track, right? And we don't have access to that. So let's go ahead and add access to the slider background. Or should we do the root? Probably the root. CSS property, here we go. And nope. Alpha, I don't know what to call it. Let's just go with base color. And let's do base color .to hex string. And what did we call this? Slider background? Oh, that's going to be a problem. Based on orientation. Can you have a you have a variable here? Ooh. That's interesting. Okay. I don't know how that helps me, but might might be nice to do that. So the orientation, if I set the orientation, I can do, well, see here I'm actually setting the orientation this way, but I kind of want this as a variable. And it's probably easier to do the variable with the direction. So this can be hard-coded. So root style set CSS property orientation or gradient direction. So then in that particular case, I can, I'm just doing a lot of refactoring today, aren't I? What did I call that? All right, so then in that particular case, I don't even need to do that anymore. Okay. So then back over here, slider background, and this is not needed anymore. I can do var gradient direction. Transparent to base color. And let's just go ahead and set a reasonable default. These are magical strings that we're going to have to get rid of at some point. And let's just use white for now. Probably black. I don't think this should be transparent. Well, if we're doing a pseudo element, this will definitely need to be transparent so that we can see the checkerboard behind it. But until we do that, we should probably do white. And I did not regenerate or reminify the CSS. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Let's compile. And now grab the latest CSS. There we go. I mean, that works. Of course, this is in Chrome. We're just going to have to double check that this is going to work for us. Otherwise, so if we come in here and we were to, well, let's not do that. Let's come over to our demo. And let's watch this hue picker. Okay. And, oh, guess I technically had the wrong direction. I needed this alpha picker. So let's move that back. Let's pull the alpha picker out. Because whenever we're changing the value of the hue picker, let's say the alpha, oh, need to change that. Alpha picker set base color to new HSV. And let's go with value because that's a hue. And then 1 and 1. See what that does. So there we go. We are setting the hue, and then we would have the alpha channel here. That would be able to specify the alpha of that particular hue. Okay, that works. And that's exactly what this does. Whenever we're changing the hue. Oh, I thought it did. Oh, yeah, that one's based upon this color. So this is a bad example. It probably should be down on this example because the alpha base color is going to be selected based upon this, not the hue picker. But this was a pretty good comparison here. So this one actually does use the HSV picker as the driving factor for this base color. We will need to get that background though. All right, so what if we were to do something like that? So then the slider background. What if we were to have a before content nothing, and this is position relative though. Why I'm just typing absolute there. Position absolute. Just throw red here with 100%, height 100%, top 0, left 0. Let's see what that does. Obviously, this is going to impact every single subclass of the color slider, but I cannot use a variable for this, and the reasonable default will be transparent, which will be the base color, right? All right, so here we go. Let's play around with this a little bit. So here, let's just say transparent. That does work. I wonder if it needs to be an after. This is going for white, right? Yeah. What if I change that to transparent to the base color? Then this before, instead of transparent, did red. No? This one makes it look like it's that it's layered on top. I doubt this has any impact. I mean, I guess I could change this such that this one is a before. No, this one's an after and this one's a before. So slider background. No, that's gonna cause problems. I mean, we could throw the other color into a pseudo, right? What if we did that? So then the background here, we're just wanting to move this, right? Didn't really need that anymore, did we? I don't know what this is going to look like. That's the fun part of doing widget design. There's a lot of experimentation that you have to do. Yeah, see, now we're not even getting the rounded borders, but that's a different issue. So we are still doing white, aren't we? Let's go back over here, change white to transparent. Come on. Perfect. That is perfect. Because this after, no, it was the before, we were choosing red. Basically, this is going to be the layer for the checkerboard. So let's do that. So before. So instead of this, we're gonna have to do something clever. And I'm gonna just copy and paste this for now. I know, I'm stealing from Stack Overflow. Don't need that. I'll play around with these numbers later. wish it did better indentation for subsequent lines that are following, because this is still valid, but if I were to format, even if I do manual formatting, oops, but then I hit the key binding to format the buffer, all of that's shoved back to the left, which is fine. Let's see if that works. I mean, this is still the large ones, the large squares, and based upon comment, I mean, this was how many years ago? And just 3, almost exactly 3 years ago. Says that it's not going to work for IE, but who cares about Internet Explorer? That's dead, right? I need to change this again. I'm still doing white. That needs to be transparent if we're actually going to be doing this with a checkerboard as a different layer. And again, like I said, this we're gonna have to change the background a little bit. Wondering, should that be a little bit more on the opaque side? No, it looks about right. I mean, it's because this is so wide. If this weren't as wide, it would probably look a little bit more like this. I'm curious, if I were to zoom in pretty far, what is the size of this? Yeah, about 7 or 8 pixels. Not the 20 that this example came with. I don't know. I like it. I think that'll work for us. Looks acceptable. I do want to do something about that though. Those are a little dark. What if let's take a look at that before. What if we were to change the background position? So this is 0, 10. Yeah, I'm not sure how this is put together. Oh, look at that. Did I just do that? I think I just did that. I mean, it has the dark one at the top. These are a little bit on the lighter side. Before I lose that, let's make sure that I do that over here too. So this was 10, 5s. I mean, technically we could probably do this with variables. I don't want to deal with that right now. I'll mess with that later. It's a little dark. So all of the 0.6s, let's mean, I don't know if you could see this. It does look like it's doing these as triangles, which makes a lot of sense, but I think the 0.2 might be better than 0.6. So for all of these 0.6s, let's change those to 0.2s. Again, probably should be a variable. I can do that off stream. And load that. That should be correct now. Yeah, that's so much better. I do need to figure out the rounded corners though. I think what we can do on the slider background, we can do overflow hidden. There we go. That's all we needed. All right, so overflow hidden. This one. Because these are pseudo elements, it's basically nesting two elements underneath that parent element. And because those were 100% height and width, because the parent is doing rounded corners, it's going to hide anything that overflows. So it basically forces the child elements to also have rounded corners. Works for me. Works for me. I like it. All right, so let's go ahead and regenerate that since I haven't done that yet. Guess I really don't need this base color anymore, do I? I'm not actually setting it anywhere. I'm just setting it as a hex value directly on the other variable. If I ever need to retrieve that, it would be different, but I doubt I'm gonna have to retrieve that base color. And that should have the rounded corners, and it does. Nice. I like it. So then it's just a matter of getting this in a larger window, and probably can look back at the color picker example. But instead of doing that, let's go ahead and commit the stuff first. I probably should have reviewed my stuff first. Okay, that's not needed. So what if we were to just go ahead and create a class for this? So in the same package that we have the hue picker, let's create a color picker. we will return the element of root, public color picker, and we can build our user interface from this. Probably want to do something very simple starting out with. Basically the same kind of stuff that we had in the demo here, where we have the HSV picker and a hue picker, and we're going to also have a an alpha picker. So let's go ahead and add those. And let's throw our demo on the right hand side. Let's just take a look at this. So here we just created a flex layout, which I might actually change this into a flex layout. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to have. So take a look at this again. Yeah, I could probably do this as a flex layout, even if we were to have the text, that kind of text, but like a text input. Can't I delete that? Input? Yeah, input. So even if I were to have multiple inputs down here, based upon what we have, so if I have label, this will be R. Oops. For some reason, I can never figure out where my focus is. There we go. Let's go ahead and throw the RG and then the B. Good enough. So if we were to have something like this, it should be fine. Have a little drop down here that would allow us to have a little menu to identify which one that we want. They can be interactive, so then we would be able to set the values from these inputs. So let's go ahead and do that. So our root now, it's just going to be a flex layout. And let's go ahead and inside of here, let's build our user interface. And it's going to be root and child. I'll set direction first, top, bottom. HSV picker. Width. Not entirely sure what to do about that. Let's just do something reasonable for now. And let's set the height to the same. And we're going to have a hue picker and child alpha picker. Let's see what these do. That is the wrong place. I'm going to go ahead and save that though. And, oh wait, we haven't actually added it to our demo. So let's move that down and let's do column apply this color picker. hide that. Color picker. I want to import that. Called it a color picker, right? Oh, it's because it doesn't have a create method yet. So let's go ahead and create the public method for this. Import class, there we go. Let's see what this is going to look like. Cannot read properties of undefined. Uh-oh. And color slider. It's probably because of the max value. I do need to set a base value for that. So max value. It's gonna be a problem. So before we call update, we probably need to do this. Max value equals cast. Let's just do 100. Because of the fact that we're not actually setting the max value on these, we need to make sure that something gets there. And it's still having a problem. So I guess in that particular case, is it the value or the max value that's doing the class cast exception? Because I would assume this dot value equals cast 0. I have to decide if I want these classes to support null values. Is that big enough? It could probably be wider. What if I did, this was 400. I think that's pretty accurate, or adequate, I should say. So the width here, let's set 400. Yeah, I probably don't want to center, do I? Probably not. See, and this is full width. But what if I were to just have them all 100% width? So then it's up to the where this is getting sized. Heck, I can even do blacks 1. Not gonna work. That did not work. Unless the parent were to have some sort of height. I could do a min height. And that would, using flex will allow it to fill that space. Whatever space is available. I don't know if I want to do that or not. I do want to do 100% size. So then in my color picker demo. Set width. Let's just do 400 pixels. So now the flex layout itself is going to be 400 pixels, and then everything inside of it's going to be 100% width. Yeah, that works. So let's wire up these things. Let's do the HSV picker, add change handler. Whenever we change the HSV, we're wanting to change the base color of the alpha picker. Base color value. Yeah, I know I could do that, but I don't know if that's the only thing that I have in here, and I can convert that. I might switch this later. All right, so then the hue picker, add change handler. Let's put that before. And we want to do HSV picker, set hue. Sure, let's see what that looks like. Refresh early and often. That's the way I have always done it. So here it's changing that, and here it's changing that. That still jumps a little bit every time I set the hue. Oh, maybe not every single time. It's calling me a liar. And I should probably have the default value set to 1 on the alpha picker. I don't think I need to fire a change event. Yeah, didn't think so. Yeah, that works for me. And then we need some sort of thing over here, which probably means that I should probably have this checkerboard somewhere. I don't know. I don't know how to reuse it otherwise. So this is alpha picker. I want the color picker. All right, so private final domino element, HTML div element, and this is going to be the swatch, color swatch. So let's throw the swatch in here. And for now, what I'm going to do is just do inline styles. Not a radius. Huh. Surprised there's no radius on the style. Basically just want this to be a circle. And why are those so big? Both of those are 50. Can't do that. Component height. 8 pixels. How tall is this? 32? Yeah. What if I made component height to 32? That is not what I meant to put it on. I meant to put it on the hue picker. Not the HSV picker. So let's, I don't know. Does that work? I don't think I've actually tested those variables very well. Nope. Or wait, could just be my stupidness. Yeah, this one needs to be a flex 1. Okay, that does work. All right, so back to this. This will need to be a flex 1. And my swatch style set CSS property border 1 pixel solid RGBA. Something like that. So both of those are 32. So what if I made this one like 60-ish? Is that gonna be too much? This will eventually be external style, but for now this will work. Okay. What if I were to put a gap in here of pixels? Not too bad. All right, so that would be on the outermost gap pixels. That'll work for me. And this one should probably put a gap in between these. 5 pixels. I could probably do this with a grid layout. All right, so now, I don't think, does my RGB support, should I do alpha inside of the RGB, or should I do this as an RGBA subclass, or let's just put it in here. I wonder if I should make this immutable. And then we can get the getters and setters for alpha. Sure. And for my color util, whenever I'm converting something to hex, format hex. We have the RGB. If RGB alpha is less than 1, that's a percentage, right? How does that work? Let's just manually play around with that. So let's grab our body, click on this guy, and let's set it to something bluish. Let's set 50% alpha, so that's 7D. So 0 to FF, which is not there at all. So if I did like FF, the same as not having it. So FE. So basically I need to take the percentage. So if I have 80% calculator. So if I have 80% of 256, it's going to be 204 and then we convert that into hex. Can I do that easily? No, probably not. That's essentially what I need to do. Let's see if that works. All right. We're not going to find out for a little bit because we haven't actually done anything here. But we should be able to at least see it. So if we were to inspect it, we should modify the background color of that. All right. So what that means, whenever this one changes or the alpha changes, it needs to change the RGB value. Okay. So in that particular case, let's take a look at this. So this is going to implement leaf value editor of RGB. Has value. Color picker RGB. Takes value, and I misspelled that. Takes value is going to be RGB, and has change handlers of color picker and RGB. Did not import. Let's implement that. Because we should just make this color picker on RGB. Even if we have like HSL or anything else inside of it, we can just return RGB. I don't know if it really matters at this point. So set value, I'm just going to set value that way. And this one's going to be value false. And this one, we are going to have private final list of change handler RGB. Super. Oh, I didn't name it. Change handlers. All right, so then I should be able to private RGB value. Let's just see the same value methods here. Oh, this is regex. I need to not do that. I don't think I need to. Yeah, I should probably do an update view. All right. So if the RGB value were to change, then we need to take the HSV picker. You need to set the HSV picker. Let's do a color util to HSV. This value. U picker set value. Yeah, it'll probably be easier to do this. HSV equals that. And we probably don't actually need to do that, to be honest. Do we? Yeah, I think we do. And then the alpha picker set value. And this value get alpha. And that's really all that update view here needs to do. Of course, these could potentially fire events. Since we're modifying all of them, I should probably just do true on all of these for silent. Because there's no reason to fire the events and cause other parts to be updated as well. And swatch, set background to this value text string. Of course, we're not setting a value immediately, so it's not until we actually. Yeah, that's not working. Oh wait, we didn't update the value. So does setting the hue on the HSV picker fire value change event? And it should. Yeah, it does. So here, yeah, can't really do that. RGB equals to that. RGB dot set alpha, and this is going to be the alpha picker get value. I should probably change this because I'm going to basically be doing the same sort of thing for the alpha picker. Add change handler. Bell alpha. Kind of want to have a private void fire value change. It does need to stay up here. So then down here, we need the HSV picker get value. And then we can set the alpha based upon the alpha picker, and then we call set value, but we want to not be silent about it. Right. See what that does. What in the world is it doing? I don't know if you saw that, but the why is the hue picker changing? Must be doing something weird on this. HSV picker. No, we're setting base color on the alpha picker. Hue picker. We're setting the hue on the HSV, but I don't understand why. This hue picker bar would change. Excuse me about that. Had to sneeze. Well, I mean, that seems to work. I probably need to troubleshoot. Yeah, like that right there. I am not sure why the hue changes. Why? What? Why is the hue changing? Oh. It's because the set value. Oof. It's not returning the exact same number for some reason. Why is that? Wonder if I should just be holding on to the HSV and the alpha. What if I were to hold on to the alpha separately? That's probably not a bad idea. So we can just use the authoritative source. So let's, do we want to hold on to the value? There must be some calculation issue. You know, there's probably some sort of calculation issue whenever it's going from HSV to RGB and vice versa. So what if I change the value to RSV here? I'm probably doing this in a really, really weird way. Let me look at that again. So if we were to put it over here and we were to change this, it ends up changing. That's really weird. I mean, obviously, this changes whenever I do this, but whenever this changes, it's firing a value change event, which is converting this stuff to an RGB, but then it's reconverting back to an HSV for this stuff. I don't want that to impact the local object. How do I get around that? I mean, I guess one way is to not update the view. I would have to update the view though. Because if we're off by just a little tiny bit, and that's the crux of the issue here, we're off by a little tiny bit because of how the math works and with rounding and stuff. Because this is basically some sort of percentage from 0 to 360 here, and if the calculations aren't exact, which won't be because we are chopping off the decimals to make an integer, so then it seems to float a little bit. until it finds a spot where the calculations become stable. That's weird, all on its own. There's like a certain spot here that I click and it's not going to where I click. So nothing happens whenever I change alpha. Alpha is basically doing the exact same thing. It's only whenever I'm modifying, going back and forth between HSV and RGB. I need something a little bit more stable. All right, so let's change this back to RGB. And it's all a matter of the update view. So if I were to comment that out, the update view is what's causing things. Otherwise, these three work really well with each other. So how do I do that? So basically, whenever I fire a value change, I don't want it to actually update these. The only thing that I want to update really is just the swatch. If the value is getting set externally, then yeah, this will definitely need to update all of them. Get to be smart enough. There we go. So what if I were to put a private Boolean ignore component update? Stupid, I know. But this will allow us to update the color swatch without it breaking this stuff. I mean, that'll work. It's not ideal. We would like to get a the checkerboard behind this, so let's go ahead and do that. Basically need to do this stuff all over again. Too bad there's no functions in normal CSS, or sort of like Sass, where you can call out a mix-in. And in that particular case, I should probably use a variable. And then CSS. I'm just going to hard code it for now. Color picker, swatch value. All right, let's see if that works. And unfortunately, I was planning on streaming this morning, but my Mac decided to do an update, and one of those updates was Xcode. That takes forever to install. Broke something in the world. just look at the changes. We have swatch value. Oh, I didn't put. I don't think this. Yeah, this does matter. Position, relative. Let's just make sure. Yeah, all right. Ooh, that makes it look weird. But that'll work for me. Yeah, I think that'll work for me. So I did need to put position relative. I did. So let's go ahead and regenerate that CSS. There we go. There we go. And now we have the checker transparency thing indicator behind the main value selector. And all of this is inside a single component, which is very nice. Yeah, that'll work. All right, so what's next? Let's take a look at our wireframe. All right, so we have this stuff. Yeah. So we will probably need to have editors for these. We'll also need I can make it read only for now, but we can probably do something a little bit better later. So let's just create a class for this, RGB fields. And I am going to make this package private. I mean, this is technically updating the view, so we can do like fields.update this value. And let's call, because this will be generic, I'll probably create a interface for this. picker fields. Void update RGB value. And then we can implement that over here. Picker fields. There we go. That annotation on there, and then we can update that. So then over here, we're going to have a private picker fields. And for the time being, we're probably just going to do it's because that is not a let me do it this way. Apply fields. This fields equals fields. That's because the interface isn't an is element. All right. So then in the other picker fields, let's just create something very generic. Let's just have a on this root element. All right, so here, the display, let's do a grid. Let's just take a look at that. Let's bring in this guy. No. I hate that site. Yeah, let's do a grid template columns. And just make them all auto. Just so that we have 3 columns. So then append child. And then yeah, the top 3 are going to be span text content A or R. Hello, import static method. That one. G, B, A. And we will have some text boxes. Let's just create them up here as fields. So private final text box, red. Green, blue, alpha. Sure. And I think I already added it to the color picker, right? Yes, I did. All right, what does that look like? I mean, once we have the object in there, we should be able to do stuff with it. And that did not work out at all. Oh, it's because I only had 3 columns. Auto. Yeah, it just doesn't have a gap. If we were to throw in a gap, 2 pixels. Okay. Just wanted to make sure that they were, in fact, separate. I'll probably throw in a gap. Let's go ahead and... Whoa. Auto. Let's make sure that there's 4 columns in here. There's a lot missing. 5 pixels maybe. How do I get this to be smaller? Because I don't want the label extra crap at the top. No, that'll be a later thing. Let's just finish up the component first. So whenever we get updated, we have the RGB value. So let's do red set value. Get red. So this is going to be integer. For now, just straight out value. I'm not bothering at all with any kind of conversions or anything. I mean, that looks pretty good, right? So let's do this one. So if we were to over here, GB 73, 96, 130. Yeah. Looks a little darker though. Wonder if I should do this as an RGBA. $73, 96, 130. And then I did a 0.5. I guess we can't do that. No, we can't do that because the alpha is getting set somewhere else. He's supposed to have commas. Oh, that's why. So 0.2, 3. Yeah, that's gonna cause it to look weird, but is that the right number? See, even that doesn't look the same. Maybe it's an optical illusion. Let me grab a screenshot of this. Maybe it's the same color? Let me take a screenshot of a screenshot and that one's hard to say because it has a drop shadow. Clippy. Maybe later. So 49, you can see it up here. 496082. 496082. Okay, it is the same color. It just does not look like the same color. Probably because this is black and it's one of those optical illusions. I don't know, but that's cool. I mean, it works. I mean, we even have the alpha here. And all of that seems to function. So my idea, I mean, we can change this so that we can push back into the component, because right now it's just the update. But if we were to change this to 255, I would want this, the RGB and all of this stuff to be updated accordingly. So it's all bidirectional, but we can do that at a later date. What else can we do with this? We can do that. Justify items center. And we should probably just, for now, make these read only. Okay. I'll reach out to the Domino team to see if there's anything that we can do to for any box like this, text box that doesn't have a label that's going to be shifting up. Can we make this smaller and not have such a gap? I mean, this is with the old one. I know that they're currently working on the updated themes. Heck, I can look at the updated themes to see. Yeah, it does look like it is that. Let me go back. Or wait. So it has the label on the outside. Because before, if I were to go back to the current demo, you have this label, and then whenever you click and focus in it, the label gets shoved to the top. So that's, but if you don't have a label like this, height is really wonky. So maybe that's one of the reasons why the newer version is going to have the label outside of that box area. So maybe it's not an issue that I need to worry about. I could put the R inside of here. I mean, that's probably not a terrible idea, because even whenever it goes to the new code. So here, let me is it label A or R? Why do I keep saying A? This one's A, this one's B, this one's G. See what that looks like. It might look better. Yeah, let's just keep it like that. So I guess technically I didn't need this to be a grid. I was only doing a grid because I thought I was going to be trying to align things table-like. But I mean, this still is able to at least create them equal widths. All right, cool. I think that's going to do it for today. Let me just check my uptime. Oh, wow. I don't know how I went from 1 hour, 10 minutes to 3 hours and 14 minutes. All right, so I'm going to call that. I think this is at least in a good position where I can start building out. As we saw from some of these other examples, I can even throw in the hex in here into the same component. Might as well. There's really no reason not to. And I can even convert the decimal here into an actual percentage. So multiply this by 100 and we'll have the percentage. Can have some validators on it to make sure that we stay within the appropriate bounds. Feedback into these picker objects if any of these values were to change, and that'd be lovely. So stick around for the next stream. Right now I'm not sure when it'll be, maybe tomorrow. We'll just see how much stuff I can get done behind the scenes, and then we'll go from there. So hope you enjoyed it. Take it easy.